Welcome to Switcher Chats, music interviews brought to you by Music Matters with Darrell Craig Harris and Music Tribes Unite.
Hello, everybody. I'm here at the London Jazz Festival. We're actually at Toulouse, Lautrec, which is a lovely venue.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to my good friend Hannah Horton, amazing saxophone player. Very well known, done lots of gigs, jazz and actually pop gigs and all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So tell me what you've been up to. Obviously, we're just coming out of COVID.
Yep.
Everybody's starting to get busy.
Yeah.
You have a new record that just came out.
Yep.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so at the start of lockdown, I was due to go into the studio and record what is now Inside Out. But actually, we had to cancel that just before lockdown anyway, because unfortunately my father was losing his battle with cancer, so I needed to be with him. That's okay. So I had to be with him, so we kind of put it on hold for a while, and then lockdown created loads more tracks and emotion, and actually I think it was all meant to be.
Yeah.
And then we managed to get in the studio basically a year later, and we recorded it in March this year, and it was released on the 22nd of September at the 606.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
So that was really cool. We sold out that, which is really good, and the bands are great.
Yeah, and actually, I love the album because it's sort of jazzy and funky and soul, and you have an interesting background because you've actually played with a lot of different artists. Who are some of the artists that stand out that you've backed up as a side person before being a band leader, I guess?
I think probably the one that really stands out is Ian Shaw, because he's ended up being a really fabulous friend of mine as well.
Okay.
And he actually wrote lyrics to two of my originals on the album, so he's guesting on that as well.
Right.
So that's a really kind of special friendship that grew from us just doing a gig together first off, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the music way, right? You run into people, you do gigs, and all of a sudden they became down the road collaborators and band members sometimes. So.
Yeah. And if it feels right on stage and you all feel like secure and safe, then it's the right thing.
Yeah. You never quite know how it's going to go, right?
Yeah. You have to know you're all in it together.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly right. So playing the London Jazz Festival, obviously, you're from London originally, or?
I'm actually from near Cambridge. I live in the country.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And I studied I did my degree here at university, and then I did my postgrad.
Oh, okay.
And my advanced postgrad at Music College in London. So I've been here, but I live out in the sticks.
You kind of have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, definitely.
You have the London music scene, but you don't have to deal with the crowds and the kind of crazy.
This is the first time I've played the festival. So this is like my first ever London Jazz Festival gig.
And this is a great venue too, because it's small and intimate, and actually we're sold out tonight, which is great.
Yeah, we've had to find extra chairs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're about to kick me out of my space too, but that's all good. It's for a good cause. So what's your plans for this coming year? Are you going to be touring a lot? Is that just kind of feeling that out? Or?
Yeah, it's a weird time to release an album trying to tour, because obviously COVID bookings are still getting carried over.
Right, make a lot of makeup dates.
Yeah, exactly. But then some are opening up, so who knows? I would really love to tour some more. We've got quite a few in the diary for next year already.
Okay.
And we have had some interest from abroad, which would be really cool.
Awesome.
We'll
have to get you over to the States.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
definitely.
right?
Yeah, it's just a bit, you just have to kind of see what's going on and see, because actually quite a lot of things happen. Somebody hears you online on social media, and then they contact you and say, wow, you play different too. Because my style is quite melodic and rhythmic. And
it's kind of a mix of things too. It's not just straight jazz, it's funk and soul.
Yeah, and it's not really hard bop or licks or patterns.
Right.
So people kind of seem to be honing in on that and say, hey, you should play here, and hey, you should play there, and I can put you in touch with such a venue. And
it's funny how they kind of find you. They kind of find your lane, and they kind of get gravitated, which is great. That's a great thing about the social media stuff, which we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It kind of opens up the whole world to you. Right?
It does, and I really love to hear what people have to say about it from wherever. Like I started doing live streams from my home in lockdown.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes we have people in the States watching, people in Amsterdam and all over, and you'd hear from them, and it'd be like, oh, how, you're kind of touching and reaching out to everybody.
Right.
And they want to say hi back.
So touring and records and that kind of thing. So are you going to be recording again soon, or you're just working on trying to promote this record and get that out there?
I think this is my baby at the moment. And there's some new tracks I'm starting to play around with.
Okay.
But this one will definitely be going, I reckon, for 20.
Do you always
what are we
have
in,
kind of
20?
ideas going around and kind of coming up with new ideas? Or do you have kind of a season for that?
Yeah, and when it quietens down a little bit, for this one actually, every Wednesday afternoon I did composition afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not a natural composer, I actually kind of have to
Have
make
to schedule,
myself
yeah.
do it. So I think I will bring back the Wednesday composition day.
Oh, awesome. That's good. Actually, I like that idea, yeah. Because, like the Nashville thing, they have appointments for songwriting, which
Yeah.
always seemed funny to me. But I guess you sort of have to do that sometimes.
Yeah, because
too.
I'd really rather just tootle about and play.
Right, sure. Yeah.
And, I have to have that strict
Right.
regime in a way. So Wednesday afternoon was good for me, so I might go back to that.
Great.
And then maybe an album in a year or two's
Do you have
time.
advice for, I know because part of your mission too is promoting female jazz musicians. And what's your advice for folks that, especially women, that want to get into jazz and go down that road? What's some of the things that you've learned along the way?
I think you just have to go and play or compose, or if you're behind the scenes, go where you feel comfortable. Because for quite a while, I didn't have anywhere I felt comfortable, and I didn't play for quite a long time. Once I left junior music college, I didn't feel as I could go and jam anywhere because I was the only girl, and I just felt uncomfortable.
Awkward, right? Yeah.
And it might have been more my problem, but I just felt uncomfortable.
Right.
So I think find somewhere where you feel you can fit in, and there are more environments now for that.
Right. Yeah, and Women in Jazz Media, which is a group that our friend Fiona started.
Yep.
And I think J Steps is the name of your jazz
Yeah,
group.
J Steps.
Right. I wanted to mention that.
And they're fantastic. We only had our first rehearsal at the end of June, I think.
Okay.
And it's just grown and grown, and it's so great to see what they can do.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And also, obviously, I'm a bit of an oversharer. So obviously with girls, sometimes we're having a bad day, we're all a bit emotional, and one of them might cry, and all the other goes, doesn't matter, come on, we'll just play this tune, and then we'll have a break and have some chocolate, and then we'll go back to it. And it's
That's having the camaraderie, right?
Oh, yeah, and that's so important, and I love that, and I love to see them doing that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's uplifting. That's
'Cause
kind
I would have loved to have had that.
That's the whole, right. It's having that support team, right?
Yeah.
Mechanism. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, because it's okay to feel a bit rubbish, and it's okay to ask somebody, how are you? And then we all lift each other.
Yeah. And whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. We all need that. We all
Yeah.
need the team and the camaraderie and
Definitely.
support, collaboration too. So how can people find you online?
I'm everything Hannah Horton sax. You'll find me. I got in early.
Okay.
But I'm hannahhorton.com, my website, and then everything else, social media is Hannah Horton
Okay,
sax.
great. Yeah, and then we'll include all the information too on the video with all your links and all that to make sure
Yeah,
people can find
cool.
you. And thank you so much for joining
And
me.
the album is Inside Out.
Inside Out, right?
Yeah.
And actually, that's on. I listened to it on Spotify, but it's kind of probably on all the services.
Yeah, it's
right?
everywhere, yeah.
Everywhere. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
I know you're busy. You got to get to your gigs.
No, it's good. It's all good. We're going to eat now.
Exactly. Yeah. So, hey everybody, thank you for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you.
You can follow us on all major podcast outlets at Music Matters with Darrell Craig Harris. Thanks for joining us, and catch you next time.